Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin is traveling to Azerbaijan. This marks Putin's first trip to the Caucasus nation since 2018 and occurs as Russia aims to reassert its role as a mediator between Azerbaijan and its adversary, Armenia. Dasha Chernyshyova has more from Moscow.
Further development of Russian-Azerbaijani relations of strategic partnership and alliance is expected to be discussed during Russian President Vladimir Putin's two-day state visit to Azerbaijan. The Kremlin says during the negotiations, Putin and Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev will also discuss current international and regional issues. The sides are expected to adopt a joint statement of the heads of states and sign a number of documents. Last week, Russian Security Council Secretary Sergei Shoigu visited Baku. He said that the West threatened the security of South Caucasus by interfering into the affairs of the region. Putin last visited Baku in 2018, and Aliyev recently said Russia-Azerbaijani ties are an example for the neighboring states. A senior Russian lawmaker, Leonid Slutsky, said that the visit confirms the high level of strategic partnership between Moscow and Baku. Slutsky said the prospects for the cooperation between the two countries are steadily expanding across the entire range of cooperation in economic, political and humanitarian spheres. He also said that the two countries are staunch supporters of the establishment of a multipolar world order. Putin's visit comes against the backdrop of heightened tensions in the region and Russia's souring relations with Armenia. Aliyev last visited Moscow in April. Dasha Chernyshyova in Moscow, reporting for DD India.
All right, indeed, India correspondent Dasha Chernyshyova is joining us from Moscow to give us more details. Dasha, what is the current situation in Kursk region as the conflict rages on between both sides?
Well, Russian armed forces are still fighting against the Ukrainian military in Russia's Kursk region. We've heard now that the second bridge over the river of Seine has been destroyed by the Ukrainian military. This is in the Glushkovsky district of Russia's Kursk region. And we're also understanding that more attacks have been taking place against the Belgorod region, where at least 2 women have died as a result of the Ukrainian attacks. We also understand that the Russian armed forces are trying to prevent the further movement of the Ukrainian troops any deeper into the Russian territory. But as this is happening, we keep hearing from Russia that there are increased risks of Ukrainian attacks against the nuclear power plants, namely in the city of Kurchatov, that is in the Kursk region, where Russia says Ukraine has embarked on the preparation for attacks against this one of these largest nuclear power plants in Europe. And Moscow says that the international organizations and states have to prevent that from happening and influence Kyiv and to abandon any plans to attack this.
All right. Amidst all these things which are happening, Dasha, this is said to be Ukraine's deepest incursion into Russia. How is the Russian side responding to it? Are they beefing up their military presence in Kursk or Belgorod region?
Well, certainly the Russian MOD have been beefing up their military presence in the area where this incursion has taken place. But at the same time, we are hearing from the officials in Moscow that even though Ukraine has countered that Moscow would be pulling out its troops in the areas of Donbas, it has not happened. So while Russia is beefing up its presence in the Kursk region, it has also the capacity to maintain the same level, the same presence in the areas of Donbas. And we are hearing about more gains of the Russian armed forces in the area of the so-called special military operation in Donbas. New settlements have been taken by the Russian military over the course of the past 24 hours. But keep in mind that the front line and the attacks are even larger, because we have seen some attacks also, some drones from Ukraine also intercepted over the territory of Belarus. And interestingly here, we've heard from the leader of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, that they are also beefing up their presence on the Belarusian border with Ukraine. In one of his recent interviews, Lukashenko said that Kyiv is trying to provoke Moscow into more strong response. But what what Moscow is doing, it is trying to give the moderate response to squeeze the Ukrainian troops out from the Kursk region, while also not escalating these tensions any further.
Okay, Dasha, we'll keep taking updates from you since this is developing. Thank you so much for your analysis.